Sport utility vehicles passed up sedans sales-wise a while back, and since then the segment has continued to see explosive growth. Compact crossovers make the biggest contribution, with 21% of 2016 sales owed to just 4 models: the CR-V, Rogue, RAV4, and Escape. Today we'll be comparing 2 of these models by looking at all the important aspects of the vehicles and awarding points along the way. The majority of the points will be objective, although some will be based on my first-hand experiences with the vehicles. Let's get to it. As always, we will start out the comparison by establishing the price and option levels of the 2 models. Starting with the Escape, we have the highest of the 3 trim levels offered, the Titanium. The starting price for the Titanium with all-wheel drive is $30,850, but we have some additional options added to that. They are ruby red paint, panoramic moonroof, and adaptive cruise control. Add in destination, and that brings you to a total price of $34,230. For the RAV4, we have the all-new Platinum trim level, which builds upon what the Limited has with several exclusive features. Our model has optional Blizzard Pearl paint and a tonneau cover. Add in destination and you get an as-tested price of $37,575. So we are looking at a pretty steep $3,300 price difference between the 2. You can actually equip the Escape to be more expensive than the RAV4 if you check off all the boxes like the more powerful 2-liter EcoBoost engine. Now that that's out of the way, let's see which one would be best for you and your family. Both the RAV4 and Escape give you keyless entry with smart access. The Ford's fob has a more premium design and feel, plus it also gives you remote start, which the RAV4 does not have. So the Escape will get the first point of the video. Now we'll pop the hood and check out what powers them. Under the hood you have similar power outputs, but completely different ways of getting there. On the RAV4 you have the traditional 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, which produces 175 horsepower. The Escape breaks from most other vehicles in this class by powering the majority of models with a new 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. This engine makes slightly more power than the RAV4 at 179 horsepower. Additionally, you can option on a more powerful 245 horsepower engine, which is something the Toyota doesn't offer. As far as transmissions go, they both have 6-speed automatics which can be shifted manually. I will give a point to the Ford because it gives you paddle shifters to use. You would think that the small turbo engine would pay off for fuel economy, but it really doesn't. They are both rated at 22 city, 28 highway, but the combined rating is 25 for the RAV4 and 24 for the Escape. This is due to the EPA using exact numbers, not the rounded ones released to the public. Regardless, the RAV4 will take the point for fuel economy. Now let's move on to the refreshed styling and features. The first thing we are going to do is evaluate the overall styling of these 2. For 2017, the Escape underwent a major styling refresh, which changed the front end entirely. The new hexagon grille ditches the previous Ford Focus looks and brings it more in line with the other Ford crossovers. On the Titanium, you get this silver and chrome combination. With the RAV4, you get an interestingly designed grille, which has a fake upper portion and a gaping lower portion. While it's not ugly, I certainly think the Escape has a classier look to it. The headlights on the RAV4 Platinum are LED, and there are also LED daytime running lights and fog lamps. On the Escape you have halogen beam headlights, though HIDs are available via the 301A package. You do still get LED daytime running lights and fog lamps, but the RAV4 still gets the point here. The RAV4 has a 15.9-gallon fuel tank, compared to the Escape's 16.2-gallon tank. The fuel ranges are very close, but the Escape barely edges out the RAV4 at 389 miles of range compared to 382 miles of range. In the rear, there aren't as many differences between them. The Escape's refresh changed up a few aspects of the rear, like adding LED brake lights, but the RAV4 already had those. On the Toyota, you have Platinum exclusive body-colored lower cladding instead of the black on the Escape. Really, it comes down to the overall look, which I'll give to the Escape due to the good-looking dual exhaust. And while we're back here, let's talk towing. On the RAV4 you get a max rating of 1,500 pounds, and on the Escape you get 2,000 pounds. Now we will go around the vehicle and check out the various features and specs. Starting in the front, we have ground clearance, which is 6.3 inches on the RAV4 and 7.8 inches on the Escape. The RAV4 strikes back, however, with a tighter turning diameter. Looking at the wheels, you'll see that they have a surprisingly similar design to them. They are both 18-inch alloys. The RAV4 is finished in super chrome, and the Escape's painted silver. Both models also have ventilated front disc brakes and solid disc brakes in the rear. The mirrors of both cars are heated and power adjusting. They both also include blind spot monitoring on the higher end trims. The warranties for the two vehicles are identical. They both get a 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain warranty, as well as a 3-year 36,000 mile bumper to bumper warranty. The difference here is that Toyota gives you 2 years or 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance and roadside assistance for free. Moving into safety, both models are pretty good, but the RAV4 has the advantage. It is a top safety pick plus, scoring good on every test and advanced on front crash prevention technology, thanks to the newly standard Toyota Safety Sense suite of technologies. The Ford offers some of those same safety technologies, but they cost extra. Also, it is not rated as a top safety pick because it scored acceptable on the small front overlap test. That pretty much does it for the outside, so let's hop on in and see how the interiors compare. With prices in the mid to upper 30s, a lot is expected of these vehicles. The interiors specifically need to be spacious, comfortable, and also luxurious. And on that, both of these mostly succeed. On the RAV4 Platinum, you get standard soft-tex leather in several colors, including cinnamon, which looks more premium than this black. The titanium grade Escape also has standard leather, but neither of them offer any unique stitching or finishes. They both have power seats, but the Escape has a couple more adjustments at 10 ways compared to 8 ways on the RAV4. They both have memory seats, though the Escape has one extra person, and they also have seat heating, with the Escape having one extra stage. Push-button start comes on both the Ford and Toyota. The titanium Escape gives you an 8-inch screen compared to 7 inches on the RAV4, plus it is a much higher resolution. My overall impressions of the interiors are positive. The RAV4's upper dash is entirely hard-touch plastic, but this lower area with leather extends all the way across the vehicle. Everything fits together with precision. On the Escape you will find soft-touch plastic on the upper dash, but the lower areas will have black trim instead of leather. Still, the Escape features a solidity not found in the RAV4. Think of it like the RAV4 has a Corolla grade interior, whereas the Escape feels Fusion level. On the door trim they both have leather, and the RAV4 adds some strange looking trim, which is supposed to look like marble, I guess. Both interiors feel really big, and the Escape's is further helped by the panoramic moonroof that it has. This is optional on the titanium, but of course the titanium starts out a lot less expensive than the Platinum RAV4. On the RAV4 you get a single panel moonroof. The audio systems sound quite good in both cars. On the Escape you will find a 10-speaker Sony setup, and on the RAV4 there is an 11-speaker JBL sound system. I'm not an audiophile, so I can't tell you which one's better, just know that they both sounded quite good. Now we will look at the infotainment systems. On the RAV4 you have the same version of Intune that has been around for a while. It does all the typical stuff that you've come to expect, and it's really easy to use with shortcut buttons on the side and an app screen. There are also things like a home screen, text message support, plus weather and traffic apps included free for life. The Platinum grade also comes standard with navigation. The biggest complaint I have is the screen. It's an older, less responsive type of touchscreen, plus it's extremely dim even when you turn it up to max brightness. And those problems are rectified in the Ford. The Escape has Ford's new Sync 3 system that just came out last year. It actually shares a pretty similar layout to Intune, with each category laid across the bottom instead of off to the side. The system is very fast and the screen responds accurately to even light touches. It's got all the same features as the Intune system, but it adds Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Our tester doesn't have navigation, but it can be added for $900. Overall, the Sync 3 system is one of the best on the market, and it outclasses the Intune system, which is starting to show its age. Moving to the steering wheels, they are both leather wrapped and have plenty of controls on them. They manually adjust. Both offer tons of storage. The center consoles open in two parts, and the main areas are felt lined. They both have a couple more areas up here, but what sets the RAV4 apart is its unique storage cubby. Point RAV4. I'm big on shifters because it's something you have to touch every day. The Escape's is leather wrapped and solid feeling in the hand, whereas the RAV4's is thin and plasticky. When you go into reverse, both models will give you a backup camera, but on the RAV4 it is a 360-degree camera, which is not available on any Escape. The Toyota has a neat feature called Perimeter Scan, which basically simulates flying around the vehicle to show you all of your surroundings. My only complaint about this system is that it's hard to see on the dim screen. Finally, both have auto-dimming mirrors and universal remotes. The point will go to the RAV4 because it has the new frameless design and a compass. Now let's check out the rest to see which one your family members would enjoy the most. In family crossovers, the back seats are just as important as the front. Both cars deliver lots of space and they are almost identical. On the RAV4 you have 37.2 inches of legroom and 38.9 inches of headroom. On the Escape those numbers are 37.3 inches and 39 inches. Those are 1/10 of an inch bigger in both metrics, but I consider that negligible. The Escape will give you the illusion of more space because of the panoramic moonroof. While both are fairly comfortable, there are surprisingly few accommodations in the rear of the RAV4. The Escape has rear climate vents and a household outlet, while the RAV4 only has a less useful 12-volt outlet. The RAV4, however, has a leg up on seat comfort because the seats slide and recline. Motion-activated tailgates were popularized by Ford, and it's present on both of these. Inside you'll find 38.4 cubic feet behind the second row, and a maximum capacity of 73.4 cubic feet. This beats the Escape's numbers by a decent amount. They are 34 cubic feet behind the second row and 67.8 cubic feet with the rear seats folded. Well, this has been a very close comparison. I would suggest checking out both of these vehicles in person if you are picking between them, because we all have certain things that we view as more significant than others. Anyways, thanks for watching another Car Confections Face-Off comparison. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to see more of the latest automotive delicacies.